Today, the Gyan's Teachers' Day celebration, we greet you all on this auspicious occasion. Gyan's Teachers' Day celebration is brought to you by V4NEWS, Global TV, Malnadu TV, News Gaon Se, Samvad Sarokar News, Organ Donation India Foundation and Gyan. Our endeavor is to bring new topics as well as to celebrate the national or international important days. We have already celebrated Independence Day, and now today we are going to have the celebration of Teachers' Day. गुरु गोविंद दो खड़े काके लागू पाए, बलिहारी गुरु आपने गोविंद दियो बताए. If there were no teachers, all other professions would not exist. The dream begins with a teacher who believes in you, who tugs and pushes and leads you to the next plateau, sometimes poking you with a sharp stick called truth. A teacher is a person who helps students to acquire knowledge, competence, or virtue. The history of teaching can be traced to Confucius, 561 BC, who was the first famous private teacher. Many ancient Greeks hired private teachers to educate their children. In the Middle Ages, learning institutions such as Cambridge University were founded and teacher training became required. In ancient India, the most common form of education was Gurukul, based on the Guru-Shishya tradition, teacher-disciple tradition, which involved the disciple and Guru living in the same or a nearby residence. This Gurukulam was supported by public donations, and the Guru would not accept any fees from the Shishya. This organized system stayed the most prominent form of education in the Indian subcontinent until the British invasion. Takshila was the earliest recorded center of higher learning in India from possibly 8th century BC. Nalanda University in eastern India was the oldest university system of education in the world in the modern sense of university. Chanakya was among the most famous teachers of that era. A teacher's role may vary among cultures. Teachers may provide instructions in literacy and numeracy, craftsmanship, or vocational training, the art, religion, civics, community roles, or life skills. In India, Teachers' Day is celebrated on 5th September, the birthday of former President Dr. Sarvepalli Radhakrishnan, a well-known scholar, teacher, and promoter of education. Dr. Sarvepalli Radhakrishnan was born on 5th September 1888. He was an Indian philosopher, academic, and statesman who served as the first Vice President of India from 1952 to 1962 and the second President of India from 1962 to 1967. One of India's most distinguished 20th century scholars of comparative religion and philosophy after completing his education at Madras Christian College in 1911. He became assistant professor and later professor of philosophy at Madras Presidency College, then subsequently professor of philosophy at the University of Mysore from 1918 to 1921. The King George V Chair of Mental and Moral Science at the University of Calcutta from 1921 to 1932, and Spalding Professor of Eastern Religion and Ethics at University of Oxford from 1936 to 1952, by which he became the first Indian to hold a professional chair at the University of Oxford. He was Upton Lecturer at Manchester College, Oxford in 1926, 1929, and 1930. In 1930, he was appointed Haskell Lecturer in Comparative Religion at the University of Chicago. Dr. Sarvepalli Radhakrishnan was awarded several high awards during his life, including a knighthood in 1931, the Bharat Ratna, the highest civilian award in India in 1954, and honorary membership of the British Royal Order of Merit in 1963. He was also one of the founders of HelpAge India, a non-profit organization for elderly underprivileged. Dr. Sarvepalli Radhakrishnan believed that teachers should be the best minds in the country. According to famous philosopher Plato, a philosopher king is a ruler who possesses both a love of wisdom as well as intelligence, reliability, and a willingness to live a simple life. Dr. Sarvepalli Radhakrishnan was the true philosopher king. Since 1962, his birthday has been celebrated in India as Teachers' Day on 5th September every year. On this auspicious occasion, Gyan, Global Youth Activity Network, greets you all. Gyan is a knowledge-sharing platform which is created with the very objective of empowering the youth in general and village youth in particular, who would act as the catalyst of change in realizing the dream of two great visionaries of independent India, Mahatma Gandhi, the father of the nation, and Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, the missile man and former president of India. Knowledge gives us power, love gives us the fullness. We are grateful to the following participating schools, colleges, institutes, and universities from India and abroad. Participating educational institutions are AIMS, Kadaba, AJ Institute of Medical Sciences and Research Center, Mangalore, Alvas College, Mudbidri, Brilliant Public School, Aligarh, First Grade Degree College, Bandur, Gyan ITI, Aligarh, Gyan Mahavidyalaya, Aligarh, Katil Ashok Pai Memorial Institute, Shimoga, KR Degree College, Mathura, Mangalore University, Mangla Gangotri, Mangalore, Maria Montessori Senior Secondary School, Imphal, Rama Devi Women's University, Bhubaneswar, Regional College of Management, Bhubaneswar, Sacred Heart Higher Secondary School, Prompent, Imphal, Sant Ram Krishna Kanya Mahavidyalaya, Agra, Saraswati College of Professional Studies, Ghaziabad, Sri Aurobindo International Center of Education, Pondicherry, St. Philomena College, Puttur, St. Xavier's High School, Panchgani, and SP Jain School of Global Management, UAE. Welcome all the students from these very, very famous, important educational institutions. True teachers are those who help us think for ourselves. Now, we come to very important part of our program today, because today is the Teachers' Day. Now, we request the students one by one to speak on the topic, My Ideal Teacher. And I will be taking the names alphabetically. So in case if someone missed out, I will take them in the last. So please don't become panicky. I will be taking all of you. Don't worry. After all, you have joined today and you want to say something about your ideal teacher. My first student is Mr. Amit Khatri. Mr. Amit Khatri is a BSc third year student of KR College, Mathura. Please unmute yourself, Mr. Khatri, and you speak about your ideal teacher.
Thank you, sir. ज्ञान की अधिष्ठात्री देवी माँ शारदा, मुख्य अतिथिगण, आदरणीय शिक्षकगण एवं सभी मेरे प्रिय भाइयों बहनों, मैं अमित खत्री, जैसा कि सर ने मेरा इंट्रोडक्शन दिया, आप सभी को सादर प्रणाम भी करता हूं और आप सभी को शिक्षक दिवस की हार्दिक शुभकामनाएं भी देता हूं। दोस्तों, हम सभी ने सुना है इन चंद लाइनों को, अभी सर ने भी इसी से स्टार्टिंग की, गुरु गोविंदो खड़े काके लागू पाए, बलिहारी गुरु आपने गोविंद दियो बताए। तो दोस्तों, इसी प्रकार से शिक्षक का महत्व है हमारी संस्कृति में कि शिक्षकों का जो महात्म है वो ईश्वर से भी ऊंचा माना जाता है हमारी भारतीय संस्कृति में। दोस्तों, आज हमारे भारत में 800 से भी अधिक विश्वविद्यालय हैं जहां हजारों अध्यापक गण शिष्यों के जीवन में रंग भर रहे हैं। दोस्तों, हम सभी जानते हैं कि अगर शिक्षक का इतना महत्व है तो एक आदर्श शिक्षक, हु इज एन आइडियल टीचर, ये एक क्वेश्चन मार्क है हम सभी के सामने कि आखिर एक आदर्श अध्यापक, एक आदर्श शिक्षक, एक आदर्श गुरु है कौन। और दोस्तों, जब ये आदर्श गुरु की बात होती है तो हमारी नजर में आते हैं गुरु द्रोण और उनके शिष्य अर्जुन, रामकृष्ण परमहंस और उनके शिष्य स्वामी विवेकानंद जी, और ऐसे कई सारे हम सुनते रहते हैं, जैसे कि और भी सारे, जैसे रमाकांत आचरे और उनके शिष्य सचिन तेंदुलकर। तो दोस्तों, आखिर ऐसे कौन से कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स हैं, ऐसे कौन से गुण हैं जो उनको एक आदर्श अध्यापक, आदर्श शिक्षक या गुरु आदर्श बनाते हैं, एक आइडियल टीचर वो कैसे कहलाएं। तो दोस्तों, ऐसी तीन मुख्य क्वालिटीज, ऐसे तीन मुख्य स्टेप्स मैंने इसमें रखे हैं। तो एक पहला स्टेप के साथ मैं स्टार्टिंग करना चाहूंगा, पहले गुण के साथ स्टार्टिंग करना चाहूंगा कि एक जो आदर्श शिक्षक होता है उसकी क्वालिटी होती है कि उसको अपने ऊपर पूर्ण विश्वास होता है। ही हैज एन फर्म बिलीफ ऑन हिज ओन क्वालिटीज। उसको अपनी क्वालिटीज पे फर्म बिलीव होता है। इसके लिए एक मैं एग्जांपल भी आप सभी के सामने रखना चाहूंगा दोस्तों, कि जब हम सुनते हैं कि धनानंद थे, जो एक राजा धनानंद थे, जब उन्होंने चाणक्य का पूरे राज्य में अपमान किया और बोला कि जो आप एक साधारण शिक्षक हैं, तो चाणक्य ने कहा कि शिक्षक कभी भी साधारण नहीं होता। प्रणय और प्रलय दोनों ही उसकी गोद में खेलते हैं। और दोस्तों, उसने अपने शिष्य चंद्रगुप्त को उस पूरे देश के पूरे शिखर पर खड़ा कर दिया दोस्तों, और उसके बाद राजा नंदनंदन धनानंद का राज्य भी गिरा दिया। तो दोस्तों, उनको एक फॉर्म बिलीफ था अपने ऊपर, उनको अपने ऊपर फॉर्म बिलीफ था, तो उन्होंने अपने शिष्य को उस ओर ले गए वो। और दोस्तों, सेकंड इक्वलिटी जो मैं आप सभी के साथ शेयर करना चाहूंगा, कि जो एक शिक्षक होता है वो इंस्पायर करता है अपने स्टूडेंट्स को। एक बुकी नॉलेज से अलग हटके वो अपने स्टूडेंट्स को इंस्पायर करता है। और दोस्तों, उसके लिए मैं आपके सामने एग्जांपल रखूंगा डॉक्टर हार्डी, प्रोफेसर हार्डी, और हमारे ग्रेट मैथमेटिशियन रामानुजम का। दोस्तों, जब रामानुजम भारत से ट्रिनिटी कॉलेज गए तो वहां उनका मुलाकात हुई डॉक्टर हार्डी से। तो दोस्तों, वो अपने कुछ फॉर्मूलाज को लेकर गए थे, लेकिन डॉक्टर हार्डी ने ही उनको इस चीज के लिए इंस्पायर किया कि फॉर्मूलाज को प्रूफ करो और उनको डेरिवेट करो। जब तक अगर वो उसको इंस्पायर नहीं करते तो दोस्तों, वो रामानुजम, द ग्रेट रामानुजम नहीं कहलाते। और दोस्तों, इस प्रकार से उन्होंने उसको इंस्पायर किया। और दोस्तों, एक और एग्जाम्पल मैं आपके साथ शेयर करना चाहूंगा हमारे विवेकानंद जी का और रामकृष्ण परमहंस जी का। दोस्तों, जब विवेकानंद जी रामकृष्ण परमहंस के पास गए तो दोस्तों, उन्होंने उनके सामने एक प्रश्न रख दिया कि क्या आप ईश्वर को जानते हैं। दोस्तों, तभी रामकृष्ण परमहंस उसकी उस क्वालिटी को समझ गए। तो दोस्तों, इसके लिए एक सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट पॉइंट मैंने लिख के रखा कि ही
Amit ji, please brief, be brief. Time is up. Please.
बिल्कुल।
हाँ.
तो उन्होंने एक पॉइंट को मैं इसमें रखना चाहूंगा कि जो एक अध्यापक शिक्षक होता है, ही नॉट ओनली आइडेंटिफाइज द क्वालिटी बट ऑल्सो नर्चर दैट क्वालिटी, और वही उसको महान बनाता है। और दोस्तों, आज मेरे अगर अध्यापक के बारे में चाहता है हु इज माई ओन आइडियल टीचर, तो दोस्तों, मैं आप सभी के सामने इसको रखना चाहूंगा कि मेरे जो आइडियल गुरु हैं वो हैं निरंकारी मिशन के गुरु सर बाबा हरदेव सिंह जी महाराज, और जो अभी हैं सदगुरु माता सविंदर हरदेव जी महाराज, जो कि वर्क कर रहे हैं ह्यूमन इक्वेलिटी के ऊपर, मानव एकता के ऊपर, कि दोस्तों किस प्रकार से मानव धर्म सबसे ऊपर है। तो दोस्तों ऐसे ही एक शिक्षक का जीवन होता है जो कि देश में अपने शिष्य को आगे बढ़ाता है। इन्हीं के
Thank,
साथ मैं आप सभी को शिक्षक दिवस की शुभकामनाएं देना चाहूंगा। थैंक यू सर।
thank you, Mr. Amit Khatri. My request to all of my student guests, please keep the time limit in your mind because we have so many students. I want everyone to speak. Now, my next guest is a special guest. I would like to invite him. He's Mr. Anvit. Mr. Anvit is post-graduation. He's doing post-graduation in political science from Mangla Gangotri Mangaluru University. I will only say, Mr. Anvit, the day will definitely come when you will be watching all of us because we all know that how much organ donation important is there. I being the chairman of Organ Donation India Foundation, I assure you, you will definitely get the vision very soon. Please, now you have to tell about your ideal teacher. No, we can't hear you, Mr. Anvit. Your voice is not coming to us. Mr. Anvit, we can't hear you. Your audio is not, we can't hear you. Okay, Mr. Anvit, you just try and till the time I will take the another student of ours and then I will take you again once you are ready. I will now go to Miss Anyanya. She is MSc Clinical Psychological first year student of Katil Ashok Pai Memorial Institute, Shimoga. Miss Ananya, please.
Yes, sir. I hope you can hear me.
Yes.
A very good morning to everyone. I'm Ananya SM, MSc Clinical Psychology student from Katil Ashok Pai Memorial Institute, Shimoga, Karnataka. First of all, happy Teachers' Day to all the wonderful teachers who sow the seeds of knowledge in young minds. I believe that nature and society are the best teachers we have ever come across. Despite Despite this, I would like to dedicate my words to our academic teachers who have shaped my thoughts, actions, and views. As a psychology student, I believe environment plays a crucial role in shaping human personality. School is the first place where a child moves away from his comfort zone and explores the outer world. Therefore, it becomes the foundation for the child's social life and teachers becomes the medium through which the child interacts with the outside world. Hence, their role is not limited to teaching lessons, extracurricular activities, correcting notes, and giving exams. It goes beyond academics. An ideal teacher helps in building better people with a positive attitude. As our teacher, Father Salim Joseph, always says, before sowing seeds, we need to plow the land and make it ready for the harvest. In the same way, every teacher needs to understand his or her students in the first hand and sow the seeds of knowledge later. Studying psychology has made me aware of many psychological conditions like ADHD, autism, childhood depression, learning disability, mental retardation, etc., that can be seen in early childhood. Even these conditions are identified at an if these conditions are identified at an early stage and given proper intervention, then we have a high chance of recovery. Because teachers are the immediate contact of children every day, teachers must be aware of these psychological disorders to help kids and their growth. Ultimately, it can be said that teachers can build a better and sensitive future for the world, and I aspire to the I aspire to be the one. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Ananya, for giving your views. Now, I would like to go to the next student, and he is Mr. Anurup Nayak. Mr. Anup Nayak is a final year student of Regional College of Management, Bhubaneswar. Mr. Anup Nayak, please.
A very good morning to all. I am Anurup Nayak, a final year management student from the Regional College of Management, Bhubaneswar. I am deeply obliged to the organization Gyan for giving me the opportunity to speak on my dreams of an ideal teacher. Michael Morpog once said, "It is the teacher that makes a difference, not the classroom." Each of us stands where we are today because of some teacher or teachers molded us, like a potter who molds formless clay into pots of different sizes and shapes. Every society looks up to teacher as individuals who not only impart learning in a classroom, but inspire and encourage students to become successful and fine human beings. We have innumerable examples of such teachers or gurus in our own history. It is an astute teacher like Drona who created the mighty hero Arjuna. And who can forget the keen and shrewd intellect of Acharya Chanakya, who had the audacity to challenge the authority of a corrupt king? With passion and determination, he molded a frail little child with spark into Emperor Chandragupta Maurya, defeated the mighty forces of Alexander to bring India under one empire. It was not Alexander's advancing forces which were defeated by Chandragupta, rather, it was the defeat of a Greek Aristotle teacher at the hands of a great Indian teacher, Chanakya. An ideal teacher has the ability to understand and identify the hidden qualities of a student. To me, a true teacher does not merely educate, but arouses the love of knowledge and curiosity in a child, allows him the freedom to think and reason for himself, helps to open the child's mind to different thoughts and ideas without judging or discriminating. The most important quality that a teacher needs today is to allow children to grow and develop according to their natural talents and tendencies, instead of forcing a uniform standardized education on them that makes them into clones. For this, our education system also needs to change. As someone rightly said, human communities depend upon a diversity of talents, not a singular concept of ability. Imagine what a great loss for the world it would be if Sachin Tendulkar were forced to become a management graduate and Lata Mangeshkar was forced to complete her ME in history and become an ordinary clerk. A good teacher should become and set an example for children to emulate, and society in turn needs to give teachers their due respect. Teachers are a great source of knowledge and enlightenment, yet more importantly, they need to have love and deep understanding of children's needs. I would like to end with a beautiful quotation from the poet W.B. Yeats on behalf of every little child. I have spread my dreams under your feet. I have spread my dreams under your feet. Tread softly because you tread on my dreams. Let teachers remember that they are treading on the dreams of little children. Dear teachers, it is for you to gather and nurture every child's dreams and help them to fly and live those dreams. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Nayak, for giving your views. I would like to inform all of you that the Honorable Vice Chancellor of Mangalore University, Dr. P. Subramanya, is with us. And he only asked me that he will want to listen first, all of you, then only he will speak. So nice of him. So whatsoever you are saying, he is listening and viewing very carefully. Okay, and then he will be giving his blessings on this Teachers' Day. Now I would like to move to our next student. He is Mr. Chinmay Nayak. Mr. Chinmay Nayak is a third-year student of SP Jain School of Global Management, UAE. Mr. Chinmay Nayak, please.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Many of us look around to find their role model, mentor, or an ideal teacher. But I actually have an ideal teacher.
Please keep your speak mic to close to you.
I'll start again.
Yes.
Many of us look around to find their role model, mentor, or an ideal teacher. But I actually have an ideal teacher. My ideal teacher is wise, with excellent communication skills, has a deep knowledge and passion for their subject, builds strong relationships, keeps high expectations from the students, and pushes them to achieve their goals. Someone who accepts their mistakes and learns from the student, understands and values differences. Approachable, friendly, kind, mother-like, a guide, a mentor, a visionary, a pathfinder, collaborator, good listener, a motivator, engaging speaker, an emitter of positivity, and many more pages filled with characteristics of my ideal teacher. I most definitely have a longer list of characteristics of my ideal teacher than compared to the number of requirements I would even have for an ideal partner. But my ideal teacher is not just one person, but in fact, all the people who I surround myself with. Because if it wasn't for my English teacher, I wouldn't be able to even frame these sentences right. If it wasn't for my sister, I wouldn't be able to speak this speech confidently. If it wasn't for my drama teacher, I wouldn't be able to emote well. And if it wasn't for my dance teacher, I wouldn't be able to express well. I want to take this moment to not just acknowledge the hard work of my teachers in school or college, but also the teachers who taught me outside the classroom. And I don't mean the PT teacher. I mean my parents, who taught me their values and gave me space to grow and be my own person. My friends, who taught me to enjoy life as it goes. My competitors, who never let me lose my focus to my goals, and to the people who directly or indirectly taught me to always be humble and grounded. I am who I am because of my teachers. Now, everyone listening to me, look around. Maybe the man who brings you milk in the morning, your neighbor, or even the driver who dropped you to work today. Just know that if there is something they can add to your life, then they could be that missing piece of your ideal future puzzle. And then even you can say that you have an ideal future. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nayak, for giving your thoughts about the my ideal teacher. Now I would like to go to my next student. She is Darshni Gowda. She is BCom third year student of first grade degree college Bayandur. Miss Darshni Gowda, please. Please unmute. Yes, please. No, we can't hear you. Yes, please speak. Miss Gowda, please speak. I think some problem is there. Your voice is not coming. Uh, please adjust the voice and everything, then we will come back again to you after some time. I am going to the next student. He is Mr. Dominic Savio Philip. He is third year BBA student of St. Philomena College, Puttur. Mr. Dominic, please.
First of all, greetings to all of you who are present here and happy Teachers Day. When I first think of a teacher, the first thought that comes into my mind is a saying by Mr. William Orderwood that a mediocre teacher tells, a superior teacher demonstrates, a good teacher explains, a superior teacher demonstrates, whereas a great teacher inspires. I could have spoken about the qualities of a teacher by referring to the internet sources like a teacher should be good, he should be good at communicating and those things. But since I have someone who is worthy enough to be called as an ideal teacher, I'd speak about my mentor and Joseph. An ideal teacher should be someone who differentiates between studying and learning. The so-called learning process doesn't happen with the teacher speaking about the concepts or like demonstrating it to the fullest. But from my experience, I define an ideal teacher to be a person who teaches the students to learn and learn to unlearn, which is so challenging. Learning must happen instead of studying because at the end of the day, studying becomes just a process, whereas learning is the outcome, the output. So this is the real difference what we witness. I learned from my experience, which can be renamed as experiential learning, and only an ideal teacher can facilitate this. Accepting others as they are, being proactive and constructive instead of being reactive and destructive never happens until you are exposed to such a scenario. An ideal teacher replaces the cliche that is like slow and steady wins the race by consistent and fast wins the race. When an ordinary teacher expects you to submit something within an hour, an ideal teacher counts it on seconds. We are bound to the four walls within the schools and colleges, and this is still a cliche usage because those four walls can be a room for infinite probabilities if a teacher can make up that spark in his or her students, which is a feat achieved only by the ideal ones. When things goes normal like a broiler being fed according to the daily routine, an ideal teacher expects his or her students to come out of their comfort zones and he or she stops yielding to them. The word tadastu, which refers to the chanting of the spirits, meaning let it be like that, should guide us to cultivate positive thoughts, words, and actions, and only an ideal teacher can help us to achieve this. They ask us to give our 120% instead of 100%, and this is the point where a normal teacher is not equal to an ideal teacher. Reflecting upon the National Education Policy of 2020, the focus should be made on the key concepts and essential ideas, thus enabling space for deep and experiential learning, which will enhance the subject depth, critical thinking, and attention to life aspirations with a change in the pedagogy and traditional learning into premium learning with TEL, that is technology enhanced learning. It can be also called as technology-based learning. Liberal education with broad multidisciplinary exposures, imaginative and flexible curricular structures can be only made possible with a teacher who is well upgraded. They highlight the concepts of empowering to empower, where the learners get to know each other better, assess themselves individually as well as a group, getting responsible, taking initiatives, and flourish. They teach us to accept criticism and strive for opportunities rather than like waiting for one, so that we run behind the opportunities. So from my kind of like perspective, I define an ideal teacher does not allow things as granted. They just ask us to get it. They just look into the matter like whether we like really we are supposed to get it or not. They expect us to make mistakes, understand the loopholes, do a kind of like SWOT analysis, and finally guide us to reach self-actualization and then to the ultimate self-realization. I learned it, lived it, and live it. So this is my reflection on an ideal teacher which has evolved from my premier learning experiences and living. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dominic, for giving your views. Now I would like to go to my next student. She is Miss John Jojan. She is a 10th standard student of St. Xavier's High School, Panchgani. Yes, please.
Thank you, sir. A very good morning to everyone present here. I am Joanne Georgian, representing St. Xavier's High School, Panchgani, Maharashtra, and I'm here to give my views about an ideal teacher. The light of the world, the beacon in the dark, and the hope that gives us strength to survive is our teacher. An ideal teacher is like a glowing lamp that burns itself to bring the students out from the darkness of ignorance and fills their lives with the light of knowledge. Today, we celebrate Teachers' Day, a day kept aside to honor the gifted souls who work every day to make sure that the future is bright for all of us. A teacher is an architect of a nation. We cannot even think of an educated society without the help of ideal teachers. An ideal teacher is respected by her students as well as the society. A good teacher discovers the treasure hidden inside each student and inspires them to strive for it. According to me, an ideal teacher is the one who becomes a role model in the life of every student. A good teacher helps students almost in every walks of life to achieve their goals. He is the one whom a student fondly remembers even after he leaves the institute. Good teachers mold all the weak students into strong ones and treats them as their own children. She is impartial and gives equal attention to all students. A good teacher can also maintain discipline in class without reprimanding the students, and a positive atmosphere is created. They give children purpose, set them up for success, and inspire in them a drive to do well and succeed in life. They hold students accountable for their success and failures and they won't let their students get away with not living up to their full potential. As we all know, we have gathered here to celebrate Teachers' Day online. Let us take this opportunity to thank all our teachers who have been working very hard to teach us online. Taking education to the next level this year may have given us tough times, but our teachers have surely been a ray of hope. In these tough times, I would like to thank all the teachers on behalf of each and every student for your unwavering support. Thank you for guiding us and making us what we are today. I would like to conclude by a quote given by a great ideal teacher, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. The purpose of education is to make good human beings with skill and expertise. Enlightened human beings can be created by teachers. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Ms. John, for giving your views on my ideal teacher. Now I would like to go to our next student guest. Before that, I will just check with Mr. Anvit. Are you there now? Can you? Yes, Mr. Anvit. Please,
Yes,
just speak.
can you hear me?
Yes, now we can hear. Yes, we can hear you. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Now,
Thank
yes,
you.
yes, yes.
Thank you,
Tell
sir.
us about
And
my ideal teacher. Yes, please.
yes, thank you for this opportunity, and I'm very sorry for some disturbance. And I'm a student of Mangalore University and pursuing my political science MA, and it's my privilege to share my views on ideal teacher. So teaching is a very noble profession that shapes the character of an future students. Their caliber and character is decided by the excellent teacher. So Abdul Kalam once said, if the people remembers me, then as a good teacher, that is my greatest honor. So in this view, if you see that, if anybody asks me who is an good profession, what is an good profession, then I wish to say it is our teaching. To every creatures in this world, learning is a continuous process. In this world, at every day, every life, in this life, we faces many challenges, and these challenges, from these challenges, we are going to learn something new every time. So in this digitalized world, it is giving us many too much of exposure, through which we are going to learn many things. So getting exposed to so much of knowledge, informations, and a lot of feelings and emotions. One must understood that which information, which feelings, which thinking is must for us. It can be it can be very easy to be misguided in this feelings and emotions. So what is very important for us is that to understand oneself and the relationship between others. It is not just learning technical or bookish knowledge, but to understand ourselves is most important. So for this, an ideal teacher is needed. Our child's mind is like a blank. Okay, a child's mind is like a blank slate. Once said John Locke while he was explaining the concept of tabula rasa. So our teacher's duty is to make make a student's mind into a stunning okay students into a stunning sculpture. From teaching technical knowledge and concept, he is also going to instill some values in us. Not only has many other role to play. So they are the beacons of light who are going to guide and nurture the students. So teaching the 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 process of teaching and learning goes hand in hand. Therefore, for me, an ideal teacher is someone who is also an ideal student. A teacher should be enthusiastic to learn with his or her students. This is the quality that sets a teacher's profession apart from all other professions. Inside a classroom, there is no hierarchy. It is only the sharing of knowledge. And knowledge is a treasure. And this treasure expands its value when it is shared. Therefore, I feel teachers have this special quality of sharing that knowledge, and it is a treasure. So they are the holders of this treasure, and they are enthusiastic to share it. Yes. Thank you so much for giving this opportunity for me. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Anvit. Although today's topic is my ideal teacher, but I can say my ideal student. You are inspiration for many, many students who feel that the physically handicapped cannot do, but you are doing post-graduation in political science. You are yourself, you have become an example for all of them. And I'm sure many students who are not pursuing their studies because they have some physically handicappedness, they will be inspired from you, and definitely you are really ideal student. Thank you very much for giving your views. Now I would like to go for my next student. He is Mr. Luchingba. Mr. Luchingba is a 10th class student of Sacred Heart Higher Secondary School, Imphal. Mr. Luchingba, please.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Dr. Mamaite, and I'm currently reading in the 10th standard.
You speak loudly. Speak loudly bit. Yes.
A very good morning to everyone present here. My name is Thokchom Luching Mamaite, and I belong to Manipur, which is one of the northeastern states of India. Currently, I'm reading in the 10th standard in Sacred Heart Higher Secondary School, Imphal. Before I start my speech, I wish to lay my humble solitude to all the teachers around the world who are relentlessly working and feeding their blood of knowledge to the students, just like a mother feeding her own child. Teachers can be regarded as our second parents. From a very early age, they have been guiding and supervising us, providing us knowledge and information, and enlightening us from the darkness. They also play a very important role in our life. For example, building up a character, building up a successful career in our life. In fact, the what we become in life depends on teachers, the political leaders, ministers, civil servants, doctors, engineers, etc., who are occupying a dignified status in the social strata. They wouldn't have been able to reach that height had they lacked the support of teachers. So these are some of the important roles played by teacher in the life of a student. And apart from that, teachers also um, provide us knowledge, morals, and mold us into something which is which help us to be successful in life. So these are some of the things which I think the important role played by teacher in students' life. And to the society, they also exercise a very considerable role. For example, we
Okay.
have come across the statement that children are the pillars of the nation. Then, if we intend to build a prosperous and a good society, then we need ideal teachers who are devoted to molding the students into a bright future so that we may have a prosperous nation in the future. So I would like to introduce one of my teacher in our school. In my opinion, he is
You have unmute. You have muted yourself. Please unmute. Please unmute. You have muted. Your device is muted. Yeah.
hello.
Yes. Now we can listen. Yeah, we can hear you now. Yes. Please speak.
Because apart from giving his knowledge of the subject he is teaching, he inspires us gives motivational speech and help us build our personality. So an ideal teacher is different from a simple teacher in my opinion, because an ideal teacher should be someone who tries to bring out talents in the young students, uh, give them opportunity to present their opinions and views on social issues or anything. So I think the mutual collaboration between an ideal teacher, students, or parents are of prime importance to bring our nation to a prosperous nation one day. And I hope that if this collaboration exists, we will India will one day rise high across the sky, uh, and be a country where tranquility, calmness, and peace prevail. With these a few humble words, I wish to come to the conclusion of my views on an ideal teacher. And thank you for giving me a golden opportunity. And once again, I wish everyone a very happy Teachers' Day. Thank you all.
Thank you very much. Now, Miss Darshni Gowda, can you speak now? Please unmute and just. Miss Darshni Gowda is a BCom third-year student of first grade degree college, Bandur. Yes, Miss Darshni Gowda, please.
Am I audible?
Yes, please.
Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Well, this is a Sanskrit sloka, which means Guru is a Brahma, who is a Lord of Creator, Guru is a Vishnu, a Lord of Organizer, and Guru is a Maheshwara, a Lord of Destroyer. Since Guru leads to the path of light, we bow to that Guru, which referred earlier. Thus, a realized soul, Guru is embodied Parabrahma, the ultimate God. Well, I'm Darshini Gowda, pursuing my final year BCom in first year degree college, Bangalore. Today, I would like to speak a few words about ideal teacher. Before that, I would thank all the teachers for my support, and I would wish all the teachers happy Teachers' Day. Guru is a root word of Gu and Ru. Gu means a darkness and Ru means remover. Well, Guru is a darkness remover who takes us to the path of light. Everyone has the ideal life in their life. Even me too. I too have an ideal teacher. My ideal teacher is my mom. We say home is our first school and mother is our first teacher. For me, my mother is my ideal teacher, Mrs. Rupa Sridhar. She created my life. She taught me to live independently. She changed my weaknesses to strength. She organized my life systematically. She encouraged me every time. She motivated me in all my failures. She she taught me to fight alone in my all the problems. She is a supporter of my for my success. Even she supported in my failures too. Thank you, mom, for being with me. Thank you for making me a good human being. Not only my mom, I have some other teachers that I can't forget in my whole life. Father Salim, Father Peter, Riaz sir, Mrs. Meenakshi ma'am, Francisca ma'am, Savitri miss, Raghunaik sir, Vinod sir, thank you for your support, love, care. Thank you for molding my life. Finally, I would thank Gyan Foundation for giving me such a wonderful opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Darshni, for giving your views. Now, I would like to go to the next student speaker. She is Miss Muskan Saxena. Miss Muskan Saxena is B.Ed student of Gyan Mahavidyalaya, Aligarh. Miss Muskan Saxena, please.
So can you hear me?
Yes, please.
Okay. Good morning to all of you. Here myself, Muskan Saxena, pursuing BA from Gyan Mahavidyalaya, Aligarh. First of all, I would like to thank you all for providing me such a good platform and this golden opportunity. Now, I would like to congratulate all our teachers on this beautiful occasion of Teachers' Day. Today, when we are talking about Teachers' Day, how can we forget about our former president, Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan ji? We all know that we celebrate this Teachers' Day because of Radhakrishnan ji, and we know the story behind it. But do you know why did he do this? He did this because he wanted to pay tribute to the greatest teachers of India and Bangladesh. For sure, a teacher is a former, means he form our life, he create our life, he grow our mind and our personality. Teacher means something which we never get. Teacher is like creator of our life, of our future. He lights up our, brighten up our future. Now, teacher. We are talking about an ideal teacher. When a word comes teacher, we all have our different mindsets. We all have our perspectives about an ideal teacher. So when I am talking about an ideal teacher, I believe every creature, every single creature of this world is an ideal, is a teacher, because even a small ant teaches us something to never give up. We learn from everything. It's just up to you that we want to learn or we don't want to. Now, when I talk about my ideal teacher, I have so many ideal teachers. I still remember when I was in 8th standard, there was a teacher. I mean to say, when I connected with her, when I stayed with her, I felt like she is my mother. She always took care of us like we are her own child. When we went to give exams, we need to stay there for 2 days. And we were like 6th standard student, we are not that big. How will we stay about our mother? But she took care so relaxedly. Now we didn't feel any need of our mother. So I believe she was my ideal teacher. And the most important thing, I'm still connected with her. More about the ideal teacher has many qualities. He treats each student with love. He considers it his duty to help needy, sad, and helpless students. He is a scholar in true sense who does not have any ego about his scholarship. He always devotes his life to the character building of his student. His heart is benevolent. At last, I would like to tell just one thing. I am pursuing B.Ed. I'm going to be a teacher in future. I just wish and desire to be ideal teacher for so many students. And at last, I want to say just one thing. And I would like to thank all of my teachers. They are the reason I'm here and working hard for my betterment, even for my best. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Muskan Saxena, for giving your views. Now I would like to go for our next student guest, and he is Mr. Nagesh. Mr. Nagesh is a third-year BA student of Katil Ashok Pai Memorial College, Shimoga. Mr. Nagesh, please.
Am I audible?
Yes, please.
This is Nagesh from Katil Ashok Pai Memorial
Speak bit loudly. Speak bit loudly, please.
Okay, sir. Okay. This is Nagesh from Katil Ashok Pai Memorial Institute, Shimoga. First of all, thanking all the teachers who have brought me till here. I feel privileged to wish you all a very happy Teachers' Day. And I like to present my views about an ideal teacher. In Sanskrit, there is a Subhashita. It says, Shaile Shailena Manikyam Mauktikam Nagaje Gaje, Sadhavo Nahi Sarvatram Chandanam Navane Vane. Which means every elephant is not gifted with a ruby. Every forest is not gifted with sandalwood. And everyone who reads doesn't become a scholar. And the same holds good for teachers too. Of course, there are many good teachers, but an ideal one is very rare to find. And now we have to ask ourselves, who is an ideal teacher? And when I asked this question for the first time, when I was around 12 or 13 years old, someone answered me. An ideal teacher is someone who makes his student more successful than his own self. And I spent years believing that it's an ultimate truth until my eyes were opened by another teacher of mine. And it's then that I realized an ideal teacher is not the one who makes his student a valuable person, but instead, he is the one who makes his student a person of values. An ideal teacher doesn't make his student to compete well. Instead, he makes his student complete. The profession of teaching is one of the most noblest and the most challenging professions because a classroom is one of the most diverse elements of the society. Because a teacher, an actor, a businessman, a singer, everyone sitting in the same room doing the same activity is not easy. Some will be waiting for maths and science period. Some will be waiting for language and art, while most of them will be waiting for lunch and leisure. The biggest challenge of an ideal teacher lies in bringing unity to this diversity without compromising with the identity of every child. So the biggest challenge of a teacher, an ideal teacher, is to understand the child well and give him a reason to fall in love with education. In today's education system, we come across many teachers who come to the class on time, deliver the syllabus, and move out. Such teachers can only motivate the students to learn the facts. Of course, remembering the dots is important, but what is more important is teaching the students how to connect those dots. If only syllabus is prioritized, the only question that will rise in such a classroom is, ma'am, is this topic important for the exams? And that's where learning rests in peace. But the true test of an ideal teacher doesn't lie in how many questions he can answer easily, but instead it lies in how many questions he inspires his students to ask, which he himself finds it difficult to answer. And that's where creativity takes birth. In a nutshell, I feel an ideal teacher is the one who, along with the syllabus, reaches the hearts of the students and adds values to his life. He encourages his students to think creatively and speak boldly. And only such an ideal teacher can build a healthy society. So once again, thanking you all for this wonderful opportunity. I remain. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nagesh, for giving your views. Now, the next student guest is Miss Nancy Agarwal. Miss Nancy Agarwal is a B.Ed first-year student of Sant Ram Krishna Kanya Mahavidyalaya, Agra. Miss Nancy Agarwal, please.
Am I audible, sir?
Yes, please.
Good morning, sir, and good morning, everyone. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, गुरु साक्षात पर ब्रह्मा तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः। नमस्कार, मैं नैन्सी अग्रवाल आज आप सभी के समक्ष टीचर्स डे के मौके पर अपने कुछ विचार रखना चाहूंगी, जिसका शीर्षक है माय आइडल टीचर। तो सर्वप्रथम मैं आप सबको ये बताना चाहूंगी कि एक आइडल टीचर की डेफिनेशन क्या होती है। मेरी नजर में एक आइडल टीचर वो होता है जो अपने विद्यार्थियों को सोचने पर मजबूर करे कि ऐसा है तो ऐसा क्यों है, उसके खुद के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू, उसके खुद के पर्सपेक्टिव बनाए, ना कि उसको रटवाए। ताकि अपनी लाइफ के बैड एक्सपीरियंसेस उसको बताए, ताकि उसके विद्यार्थी उस चीज को रिपीट ना करे फ्यूचर में। क्योंकि माँ बाप के बाद एक टीचर ही है जिससे एक बच्चा सबसे ज्यादा इन्फ्लुएंस होता है। तो मेरी नजर में एक टीचर की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी बनती है कि ना कि सिर्फ बुकिश नॉलेज अपने विद्यार्थी को दे, बल्कि उसके साथ साथ उसको एक अच्छे संस्कार, उसको मोरल वैल्यूज, डिसिप्लिन, मैनर्स बताए, उसको एक अच्छा इंसान बनाए। क्योंकि आज भी हमारे देश में टीचर को ईश्वर का दर्जा दिया जाता है। वैसे सबकी लाइफ में अपने अपने आइडल टीचर्स होते हैं। आइडल एक पर्सन होता है, चाहे वो उसके पेरेंट्स हो, चाहे वो उसका कोई टीचर हो, चाहे वो उसके फ्रेंड्स हो, चाहे वो कोई बुक क्यों ना हो, क्योंकि कुछ लोग बुक से भी बहुत कुछ सीखते हैं। पर यदि मैं अपनी बात करूं तो मेरी नजर में जो मेरे आइडल टीचर हैं, जिनमें मैं ये सब क्वालिटीज देखती हूँ, उनका नेम है मिस्टर प्रदीप तोमर सर, जो अमेरिकन इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ स्पीकिंग लैंग्वेज के ओनर हैं। उनसे मुझे बहुत कुछ सीखने को मिला है। उन्होंने मुझे बहुत कुछ सिखाया है, मेरी वीकनेस को मेरी स्ट्रेंथ बनाया है, मेरे अंदर के हिडन टैलेंट को देखा, मेरे को ग्रूम करा, मेरी पर्सनालिटी को ग्रूम करा। उनके साथ पढ़ने में मजा आता था। पहले मैं 2 लोगों के आगे भी नहीं बोल पाती थी ठीक से, आज मैं 200 लोगों के आगे भी बोल सकती हूँ, और सिर्फ उनकी वजह से। उन्होंने वो चीज मेरे अंदर ग्रूम करी। मैं जानती हूँ आज वो यहाँ नहीं है, वो ये नहीं सुन रहे हैं, पर मैं तहे दिल से उनके लिए थैंकफुल हूँ, और फ्यूचर में भी रहूंगी। और ना ही सिर्फ उनकी, जितने भी टीचर्स मेरी लाइफ में रहे हैं या आज भी हैं, मैं उन सब की थैंकफुल हूँ। क्योंकि वो कहते हैं ना, बूंद बूंद से सागर बनता है। मुझे उन सबसे बहुत कुछ सीखने को मिला है, और उन सभी शिक्षक को मेरी तरफ से शत शत नमन है। और जैसा कबीरदास जी कहकर गए हैं कि गुरु की महिमा का वर्णन शब्दों में संभव नहीं। तो अंत में मैं अपनी वाणी को विराम देते हुए बस इतना ही कहूंगी कि माता पिता ने जन्म दिया, पर जीने की कला तुमने सिखाई है। माता पिता ने जन्म दिया, पर जीने की कला तुमने सिखाई है। मैं कैसे शुक्रिया करूं उन सब का, जिन्होंने मेरी जिंदगी में ज्ञान की रोशनी लाई है। धन्यवाद।
Thank you, Ms. Agarwal. And I will just assure you, you will be getting the recording of today's program in a day or two. You can forward to your ideal teacher. So wherever he is, he can definitely watch what you have spoken about this program. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir.
Now, I would like to go to my next student guest, and she is Miss Navya Sharma. Miss Navya Sharma is 12th science student of Brilliant Public School, Aligarh. Miss Navya Sharma, please.
Good morning, everyone, whoever is present here. My name is Navya Sharma, and I am from Brilliant Public School, Aligarh. Today, on the occasion of Teachers' Day, I am here to speak on the topic on my ideal teacher. So, I have found my ideal teacher in my principal sir, Mr. Shyam Kuntel. He is really a man of intellect and wisdom. He has acquired knowledge about each and every topic. He is such a balanced person. He is a strict teacher and always wanted the students to be properly dressed. Books and notebooks should be properly covered. The work which is being taught must be completed. But as I have told earlier, that he is a very balanced person. So he balanced his strict, stern and disciplinary behavior with his keen sense of humor. He always uses his humor for stress busting. He is a lively person and believes in living each and every moment of life. He always teaches the student that they should do the thing which they love to do, and that is the best part of his personality. He does does not allow any kind of boredom or idleness to descend upon the school. He always tries to do the things which can rejuvenate the student time to time so that they can get a fresh start to their studies. He is always happy between the students and not in his luxurious office. He is kind and sympathetic. He always wanted to do the things that can make students happy. Generally, students find school a very boring place, but due to his presence in the school, students believe that there is someone who will take care of their wishes, and that's why it helps the students to get connected with the school. And when we feel connected with the school and teachers, then it is very easy to understand the topics clearly. According to him, basics are very important. If the basics related to a topic are clear, then it is very easy to understand the topic with a lot more interest. He always believed that education is not a process in which the student used to learn the books and topics like a parrot, but this is a process in which the student came to know about the life and gain the life skill. He always motivates us to participate in the speech and debate competitions so that we can improve our speaking skills. He always motivates us to participate in the sports activities so that we can know how to do work in a team, as teamwork is a very important life skill. He not only do so, but he is also good at it. He is a very good speaker and binds the audience with his powerful oratory. He always inspires us from his speeches. His speeches are just thought provoking. He is a very good sports person and know each and every technique which is important to be a winner. He has mastery over various subjects. We can get answer related to any question related to any topic from him. And then last but not the least, his style, his personality. I did not find any generation gap between me and him. He is moving on and upgrading with the time. His thoughts are not out of fashion. He is always ready to cooperate and learn from the students. He always teaches us how to be happy in each and every condition. He used to sing a small poem a lot to teach every student that how they can be happy. I just want to speak those 4 lines which he used to taught us that the place to be happy is here. The time to be happy is now. The way to be happy is to make someone happy and a happy life ever after. So I would like to wish all the teachers a happy Teachers' Day, who motivate us, who support us to be a good human being in our life. Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, Ms. Navya, for giving your views. Now I'm going to the youngest panelist of our panel today, the youngest student. She's Miss Nirvana. She is a 7th class student of Maria Montessori Senior Secondary School, Manipur. Miss Nirvana, please.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
You can hear me, right?
Yes, please.
Okay, then. Hello, everyone, and dear panelists. I am Nirvana Saram, studying in 7th standard in Maria Montessori Senior Secondary School, Imphal, Manipur. I am from Imphal City, the capital of Manipur. First of all, a very happy Teachers' Day to my beloved teachers of my school. Today's theme, my ideal teacher. Teaching is regarded among the noblest professions, and our society accords highest respect to those in these professions who are known as teacher. A teacher introduces a whole new world of knowledge to the students and becomes a role model in this process, and eventually paves the way for the students to become good citizens. If we students are the pillar of the nation, then teachers are the ones who shape and mold the pillar. An ideal teacher not only imparts knowledge from books alone, but also helps students by becoming their friends to sort out their problems and difficulties. He or she puts in great efforts to bring out the best potential of their students. An ideal teacher is always approachable for any queries and clears doubts till the weakest student in the class catch up with the rest. He or she appreciates and commends a student's hard work and merit, but also points out mistakes and errors leading to overall improvement of the students. An ideal teacher ignites imagination, instills a love of learning, and inspires hope. They show us the right paths to walk upon and the right bridge to cross, and further encourage and helps us become self-confident to create our own path and build our own bridges in life. Such teachers leave indelible impressions in the minds of students. Whatever we become in our lives, we will forever be in gratitude for the immeasurable contributions of our teachers in our life. And I am very fortunate to have such a high quality teachers in my school. Once again, happy Teachers Day. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nirvana, for giving your views. Now, I would like to move to the next student guest, and she is Miss R.U. Megha. Miss Megha is a BA Economics final year of Ramadevi Women's University, Bhubaneswar. Miss Megha, please.
Am I audible, sir?
Yes, please.
Mountains stand strong against every wrath of nature. What do they teach? Perseverance. Rivers flow incessantly towards the sea, vanquishing every topographical hurdle. What do they teach? Focus. A flower, as delicate as a rose, has thorns on it. What does it teach? Defense. Despite enveloping such endless wisdom, these elements of nature never attempt to ornament their might. This nature is my idea of an ideal teacher. From the time we step into this modern education system, starting from nursery, we are conditioned into a rat race. Meaningful or meaningless, that's a different debate. All I wish at this stage is that only if there was someone who whispered that these conditions of the incessant race are only necessary and not sufficient conditions for life. Only if there was someone who made us understand that these competitions, marks, grades, ranks are necessary for one aspect of life, but there are skills to be learned for another, more important aspect of life, which is even more powerful. Quoting Albert Einstein, education is what remains when one has forgotten everything learned in school. Facts, figures, definitions are available in infinite numbers on the internet. We do not need human information banks anymore. We do not need someone who screams out the concepts out loud. We need someone to explain to us what the internet cannot. We need a teacher who not only makes us literate but educated as well. We need a teacher who interweaves the displaced threads of theory and practice. We need a teacher who is not bound by the syllabus, one who teaches from the heart and not from the book. But most important of all, we do not need a teacher who teaches. We need a teacher who helps us learn. This quest for knowledge and wisdom is an interesting one, of questions and answers, unlimited puzzles and hurdles, closed doors, as well as an unending expanse of self-made roads. Be it hard skills, soft skills, or life skills. No one can really teach them to someone because every person understands and learns from their own level of perception. In such a case, an ideal teacher, in my eyes, is the one who helps us expand our perception, provides us with new insights into the various aspects of life, makes us aware of our responsibilities, and guides us to discover ourselves. That's all from my side. Thank you so much for giving me a kind audience.
Thank you, Ms. Megha, for giving your views. Now, I would like to go to the next student guest, and she is Miss Radha. Miss Radha is a CA student of C's Academy of Professional Students, Bangalore. Miss Radha, please.
Pleasant morning to everyone. I belong to the Benne Dose Nagari Davangere. On this occasion of Teachers' Day, I wish all the teachers a happy Teachers' Day. And I would like to thank Father Salim Joseph for giving me an opportunity to take part in this conference. The learning process of a person begins since the birth, and it is a beautiful journey throughout the life rather than a destination. In this learning process, we come across n number of teachers who teach us n number of lessons. And this not necessarily happens in a school, college, or an institution, but rather we get to learn from our surroundings, from the nature, and many more. For example, a tree belongs to nature and it is meant to give everything but never expects anything. So it teaches us to be selfless. In this way, we learn various things from many people. But Only that teacher who leaves a strong impression and brings about a huge difference in an individual becomes an ideal teacher. And this is possible by a guru. It is often said that a guru is not merely a teacher. The word guru means a person who dispels the darkness of ignorance. A guru is one who helps mold values, shares experiential knowledge, and is an inspirational source. According to me, a teacher who assumes all the attributes of a guru becomes an ideal teacher. The ideal teacher that I have come across in my life is my mother. A mother teaches the smallest of the small things and the greatest of the great things. She is the one who raises her child in the way a society wants by sowing all the moral and ethical values. She instructs her child based on her experiences in all the phases of life, and hence she is an inspiration to me. Along with all these, it is a mother who builds the foundation of a child. A strong foundation is absolutely necessary for the effective and efficient learning of a person. To say in a word, she contributes to the overall development of a person. This is what made me feel a mother is an ideal teacher. And also, I would like to thank all the teachers who have supported me and made me reach this stage. And I conclude my words by conveying again a happy Teachers' Day to all the teachers and a happy Teachers' Day to all the mothers. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Radha, for giving your views. Now, the next student guest, she's Ms. Ragini Sengar, B.Ed second year student of Saraswati College of Professional Studies, Ghaziabad. Ms. Ragini Sengar, please.
Yes, very good morning to everyone present here. And I would like to wish Happy Teachers' Day to all the wonderful teachers out there. Like everybody spoke, I would also like to give my opinions about an ideal teacher. But first, what is a teacher? A teacher is a person who helps children acquire knowledge, competence, or virtue. But at the same time, they need to build a strong relationship with their students and show that they care. A good teacher should be warm, accessible, enthusiastic, and caring. An ideal teacher, in my opinion, is the one who masters human relations. By human relations, here I mean that each student in every class is different, their capability is different, they all differ from one another. So, a teacher here should have the ability to understand the nature of each child and have compassion to deal with the lesser gifted ones. A teacher should plan his or her classroom activities in such a way that all students could participate. At the same time, teaching the children gratitude. It's not just about feeling thankful, but expressing that thankfulness for things around them. It is about treating everyone equally. Gratitude is a feeling which I feel is very important and is missing in children these days. So it's very important to teach the children about gratitude. Another
No, I think we have lost you, Ms. Ragini. We will come back to you. I think we lost you. Your connection is not there. So we would like to go to the next panelist. And he is Mr. Rakshit Bhatt. Mr. Bhatt is a final year graduation. He's doing final year of graduation at Shri Aurobindo International Center of Education, Pondicherry. Mr. Bhatt, please.
Yes, good morning, everyone. In my experience, I've noticed that there's a certain tendency between students and teachers to treat each other as opponents, if you may. For example, the student thinks that the teachers are always against them, and the teachers think that the students are a separate entity that they need to control. And this teacher versus student mentality, in my opinion, cripples the education system because this incentivizes students to become teacher pleasers. And I feel like the ideal teacher would be one who tunes in with every student's needs and make sure that the student believes that their interests are aligned with the teacher's interest. And the moment this teacher versus student mentality is removed from the education system, they will be able to grow. The students will become receptive to the teachers. And secondly, I believe there's a certain focus on quantity over quality. And to elaborate on that, there's an analogy that I really like that says, who is a better woodcutter? The woodcutter that cuts more trees, or the woodcutter who has the sharpest axe? So in my opinion, is the one with the sharpest axe, because it really does not matter how many trees the one has cut. There's always a new tree to cut. What matters is, are you the best man for the job right now? Do you have the best tools, and are you the most equipped person to complete the job right now? So I feel, coming back to education, there's always, doesn't matter how many problems you have solved in the past or how many books you've read. What matters is, have you understood the concept well enough to be equipped to handle new problems? And that is why I feel the ideal teacher would have to shift the narrative and incentivize quality and not quantity. And lastly, I believe that an ideal teacher's goal is to be unemployed. And hear me out, because as long as a student needs a teacher, he's always dependent on someone. And I believe that a teacher's role is to help the student become independent, to become self-sufficient. And the moment that student can turn around and tell the teacher that, hey, I don't need you anymore, I can go ahead on my own, that is when the teacher has done his job. And the moment that happens, the teacher has nothing to do, and loosely speaking, he's unemployed. So if I ever become a teacher in the future, every day that I wake up, I'll tell myself that I love my job, but I wish today is my last day. Thank you, and happy Teachers Day.
Thank you, Mr. Bhatt, for giving your views. Ms. Ragini, you have joined again. Do you want to say something? Because 1 minute is left of yours. Or yes, unmute yourself. Please unmute.
Okay. Sir, I'll finish my thing. A teacher is the one where students, a teacher is the one who teaches the students about making the right decision and enhance their creativity. An ideal teacher will never push their students too hard, under pressure to excel in a subject. But however, the teacher would inculcate the student the habit to compete in life at every given step. The teacher at the same time would teach them to be successful. When they are successful, accept the success with humility and help them to cope up with failure and disappointment that comes their way, and teach them to make challenging efforts to be successful next time. And I would like to end with a quote: my teacher gave me the best gift of all, that is believing in me. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Ragini, for giving your views. Now I would like to go to the next student guest, and he is Mr. Ram Roop Tiwari. Mr. Ram Roop Tiwari is ITI student of Gyan ITI Aligarh. Mr. Ram Roop Tiwari, please.
सम्मान्य मुख्य अतिथि, आदरणीय अध्यापक, अभिभावक और यहाँ उपस्थित सभी मेरे दोस्तों, मेरा नमस्कार और शिक्षक दिवस की हार्दिक शुभकामनाएं।
रामरूप तिवारी जी, थोड़ा सा क्लोज आ जाइए आप उसके डिवाइस के, अपने जो भी आप डिवाइस मोबाइल, थोड़ा आप, हाँ चलिए, हाँ बोलिए। हाँ जी बोलिए।
माननीय मुख्य अतिथि, आदरणीय अध्यापक, अभिभावक और यहाँ उपस्थित मेरे सभी दोस्तों को मेरा नमस्कार और शिक्षक दिवस की हार्दिक बधाई। सबसे पहले मैं अपने शिक्षकों का धन्यवाद देना चाहूंगा, जिन्होंने मुझे आज शिक्षक दिवस के मौके पर अपना विचार प्रकट करने का अवसर दिया। हमारे जीवन में एक शिक्षक का क्या महत्व है, इस विषय में मैं दो शब्द कहना चाहूंगा। बिना शिक्षक के हम अपने जीवन की कल्पना नहीं कर सकते हैं, पढ़ाई जरूर मुश्किल लगती है, पढ़ाई मुश्किल जरूर लगती है, इसका फल बहुत मीठा होता है। इसका स्वाद वही बता सकता है जिसने इसे चखा होगा। जिंदगी कभी गिरवी रखकर खरीदी नहीं जा सकते हैं। इनका एक
आपका म्यूट। हाँ
यस
ठीक है। यस यस।
जिंदगी की गिरवी रखकर भी न चुका पाएंगे इनका कर्ज। माँ ही नहीं, भगवान के बराबर गुरु का भी उतना ही दर्जा है। जिंदगी कालीन थी, जिंदगी कालीन थी, जिंदगी कालीन थी, ना रंगों का ठहराव था। जिंदगी वह तो उजागर जब हुई जब गुरु ने हमें नामक का भेदभाव बताया था। आज 5 सितंबर डॉक्टर सर्वपल्ली राधाकृष्ण जी का आज जन्मदिन है और बधाई। ये हमारे द्वितीय राष्ट्रपति, हमारे देश के दूसरे राष्ट्रपति बने और एक बिना शिक्षक के बिना हमारे जीवन में बहुत अंधेरा छा जाता है। मैं सभी दोस्तों से कहना चाहूंगा, सभी अपने गुरुजनों का सम्मान करें और माता पिताओं का सम्मान करें। और एक दोहा श्लोक है, गुरु ब्रह्मा गुरु विष्णु गुरु देवो महेश्वर भूत साक्षात परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः। अब मैं अपनी वाणी को यही विराम देना चाहता हूँ।
Thank you, Mr. Ramrup Tiwari, for giving your views. Now, I would like to invite next guest student. She is Miss Shweta. Miss Shweta is postgraduate student of AJ Institute of Medical Science and Research Center, Mangalore. Miss Shweta, please.
Hello, a very good morning. A good teacher can inspire hope, ignite the imagination, and reinstill a love for learning, as was said by Brad Henry. At the outset, I would like to thank Dr. Devan PP for being an excellent mentor and for being one of the best teachers we students could ask for, as well as giving me the chance to speak on the occasion of Teachers' Day, and as well Mr. Goel, Chairman of Gyan'S Foundation, for providing the platform for the same. I have been very fortunate to have eminent teachers in my life, right from start. My parents to begin with, my sister, and a great set of tutors throughout my schooling who laid foundation for what I am today. As well, all the professors in my medical college who made me the doctor I am today. So who, according to me, is an ideal teacher? She or he is someone who's a friend, a philosopher, and a guide at a stretch, as well as someone who never lets the limitation of his or her student restrict their vision. He or she constantly motivates them to reach ahead as well as broaden their horizon with the help of constructive criticism as and when required. He or she helps them realize their talents as well as the need to pursue them with great diligence. An ideal teacher is an asset for the nation, and they help build the future of the nation. So, having said all this, I hope I imbibe at least 25% of all these traits that all my teachers have possessed, and I'm able to be an ideal teacher to someone in the coming years. I would like to end by saying Happy Teachers' Day to one and all there. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Ms. Shweta, for giving your views. Now I am going to for the next student guest, and she is Miss Teju. She is in the BF final year students of Alvas College, Murbidri. Miss Teju, please.
Good morning, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, please.
Good morning, everyone. Teachers who love teaching teach children to love learning. On this beautiful occasion, let us take this opportunity to convey our wishes to all our lovely teachers. A multitasking educational rock star who lives to inspire and love to encourage. In India, Teachers' Day is celebrated annually on September 5th to mark the birthday of the country's former president, scholar, Professor and Bharat Ratna awardee Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan, who was born on this day in 1888. A teacher has the biggest responsibility in this old world. He or she is the one who shapes the mind of the students and set their sail in the right direction. So, my views on an ideal teacher is the one who makes the student believe in them, who helps the student believe in them perfectly, helps them overcome setbacks. He or she is the one who converts pressure into motivation. An ideal teacher teaches a student that yes, they can change the world and they can make a difference. An ideal teacher makes them accountable to their action and decision, teaches them to find a purpose to achieve their goal, to do what others think is impossible. Yes, my ideal teacher takes the role as a friend, guide, and professor. The teaching ability of an ideal teacher should attract each and every student in the class. The teacher should be knowledgeable not only about the subject but also about the general aspects. An ideal teacher is the one who should understand students psychologically, emotionally, and provide maximum amount of support by being a guide light. A teacher should be the first person to inspire the student to have a goal in their life and motivate them to reach their goal. An ideal teacher should prepare students to face the hardship of life with courage. Teachers should not only teach how to get success in life, but should also teach how to be strong enough to fight our fears and failures in life. Apart from academics, teachers should stand by us at every step to guide, motivate, and inspire to become better citizens. It takes a big art to shape little minds, and ideal teacher is the greatest act of optimism. So with this, I would like to end my short little note on an ideal teacher. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, Ms. Teju, for giving your views. And now the last of the student guest, she is Miss Alfonza Paul. Miss Alfonza Paul is a first-year BSc student of St. Joseph's College, Bengaluru. Miss Alfonza Paul, please.
Am I
Please
audible,
unmute.
sir?
Yes, please.
Very good morning to all the esteemed guests. Myself, Alfonsa Paul. Teachers are like lighthouses. They show the right path and guide the students to sail through different climates in life. Success of every student has its seed in the form of inspiration from teachers. My teachers are my beloved mentors and guides. My teachers are the pillars, and on their shoulders, I build my dreams. I thank all my teachers for their blessings. I always remember their words of wisdom. The confidence instilled by them in me is such that it makes me to jump out from a lazy sleep and to run towards an ambitious target. Whenever I go low, I get back to my teachers, and their presence transforms me back into action. On behalf of all the students across the world, I express our gratitude to the Honorable Vice Chancellor, who represents the entire teaching fraternity across the world. Thank you once again, and a very big thank you to the entire Gyan team for making this day a memorable one. Happy Teachers' Day. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Alfonso Paul, for giving your views. Now, I think all the students who have registered are already been covered. If anybody has left, in my list, I don't think anyone has left. So now we are going to the next segment of our program. Teachers should be the best minds in the country, said Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan. Now, let me introduce today's program chief guest. Our chief guest of today's program is Professor Dr. P. Subramania. He is the Vice Chancellor of Mangalore University. Dr. Subramania is having more than 3 decades of experience in teaching, research, and administration. He did his MCom from Mangalore University in 1982, securing first rank with gold medal. Dr. P. Subramania obtained PhD degree from Mangalore University in 1992 in the area of consumer behavior. He worked as professor, trainer, and consultant. He's published 46 research papers. He published 46 research papers in national and international journals of repute. He did postdoctoral research at Nottingham Business School, Nottingham Trent University, England, on HRD policies and practices. He also did a cross-national study of India and Britain under the Commonwealth Fellowship Scheme during 2001 and 2. He received an international award entitled eLearn International Award 2003 from Scotland, UK, for his best research paper on trends and status of corporate e-learning and Indian experience. He also received the prestigious Devang Mehta National Award for Best Teacher in Human Resource Management in November 2009. Dr. P. Subramania is down to earth, ready to listen, and eager to implement. Welcome, Professor Dr. P. Subramania, on this special show of Teachers, Gyan'S Teachers Day celebration. Professor Dr. P. Subramania, you have heard all the students from different parts of India as well as from UAE, and they have expressed their gratitude, their views for their ideal teacher. And to be very frank, as far as I am concerned, today I am feeling, yes, it is a Teachers' Day, and I feel this all students who have expressed their views, they enlighten me. So I treat them as my teacher because their knowledge is far better than what I have learned till now. Now, I would like to know from you your views, your blessings, and your experiences, which you would like to, we want you to share with all our students here who are present here, or all the students who are watching and in the entire world about this program. Professor Dr. P. Subramania, please.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Lal Goel ji. I got truly enlightened by the ideas of our 22 panelists, our student panelists, their perception about the ideal teacher. There may be a world of difference between an ideal teacher and their most favorite teacher. The point is, teaching profession, according to me, is the mother of all professions because it teaches all professions in this world. Now just imagine if we produce a bad engineer, what would happen? A few buildings might collapse, right? If we produce a bad doctor, of course, a few patients may die. Now you just imagine if you produce a bad teacher, one whole generation will be destroyed. Therefore, according to me, there are no three classes of teachers in this world called good, bad, and ugly. A teacher must be always good. Just like medical endorsement, there is a lot of weightage given to a teacher's words called teacher's endorsement of values, the philosophy, the virtues, the practices, and whatnot. Because our teacher brings about lasting impact in our future life. Former President of India, Dr. Pranab Mukherjee, rightly said, inspired teachers are the building blocks of a good education system. He or she links the individual goals of the students to the societal and national goals. Similarly, Swami Vivekananda said, education is nothing but the manifestation of perfection which is already there in a person. Then what we are going to do as teachers? Our job is only to inspire, connect the motivational fuse, make things differently, and understand how to unlock and unleash the potential within every student. That's very important. That's why I feel that what we are today is largely because of our teachers. We must agree, we must confess. The first true liberators who made us feel that we mattered in this society, mattered in this world, they are the true liberators. We can think effortlessly now. We think boldly with a sense of purpose, pride, and direction. We can demonstrate our courage, confidence, and conviction through appropriate and timely actions. If we are in a position to do so, we owe a great debt of gratitude to our teachers. Starting from somebody said, "Mother, my mom is the true teacher." No doubt about it. That's why I always say that mother is the truth, father is the myth. You ask any child to recognize the mother. The child recognizes the mother through the smell of the sweat of the mother. That's a beauty. That is the connectivity which is divine in nature. But sometimes it is doubtful to recognize the father. The point is, mother is the truth. Therefore, materialistic style of learning must be injected by the teacher in the classroom. Therefore, the point here is, earlier we had Gurukul system. Students were moving to the place of the Guru in search of excellence, in search of knowledge, in search of learning process. Later on, Shishyakula, because teachers came in search of Shishyas or the students. Now we have today what you call Digikul, digital system, online learning. For example, massive online open learning system through Swayam platform of Government of India. That means physical place of learning has been converted into what you call virtual learning space. Learning from home has become a reality. Earlier it was work from home. Therefore, digitization and connectivity brought about a sea change in the way in which we assimilate knowledge, acquire new skills, and prepare ourselves for our future life. Therefore, lifelong learning commitment must be respected today. Therefore, ideal teacher will always bring you from darkness to light, no doubt about it. Because education means enabling the mind to find out that ultimate truth, which emancipates us from the bondage of dust and gives us wealth, not of things, but of inner light, not of power, but of love. It is a process of enlightenment. It is divine wealth. It helps in realization of truth. That is what Rabindranath Tagore highlighted it. This is the beauty of education. Therefore, the point is, we must understand teacher is made up of 7 letters of English alphabet. The word teacher, Saptapadi, 7 stars. T stands for what? T stands for transformational leader. Whether a teacher is in a position to transform the perception, the thought process, feelings, action tendencies, and finally actions of a student or not, then he could be my ideal teacher, a transformational leader. E stands for, there are 9 E's. For example, who envisions, who empowers, who enables, who energizes, who educates. See, that way, who enthuses you, who engages you in the classroom, who excels you, and who shows the path of enlightenment. So Navaratnas, E. Then comes A. A is nothing but attitudinal re-engineering. For example, if a student is reposing what they call lack of confidence, or he exhibits negativity in his breathing purpose, then the point is a teacher must convert negativism into indifference, then later on to positivism, and see that positive energy is sustained by the student. Because the teacher will create that kind of academic learning ambience, not only inside the classroom, more importantly, outside the classroom. Because I strongly believe that real learning takes place outside the 4 walls. Some of the student panelists highly remarked that way. I do endorse that point. Therefore, attitudinal restructuring or attitudinal re-engineering is required. As Napoleon Hill in his book Think and Grow Rich rightly said, your attitude will always determine your altitude, the height of thinking. Therefore, we have to demonstrate our positive mental attitude. That's a major vitamin required to keep our body, mind, and little soul in one place. Therefore, that is the path of enlightenment. Then comes what we call C. Undoubtedly, C stands for character builder. Teacher is the main architect for building and rebuilding your character, shaping and reshaping your personality. That is the solace, that is the meaning of life for a teacher. Therefore, students are the real assets for a teacher. Therefore, that is character builder. Yach is nothing but the healing touch, the Midas touch. That gives a lot of comfort for a student. A student who is suffering from learning disadvantaged position. For example, socio-economically disadvantaged group. The students belonging to this group, they may have a diffidence, they may suffer from inferiority complex. The wonderful Midas touch, the healing touch of a teacher who gives the hand, who warms up the heart of the student, who shows the direction, because speed is not important, but the direction matters. Such a teacher is remembered until our last breath. The point is, that is what the healing touch. Then comes another E, teacher E, that is enlightened self-interest. A teacher doesn't have selfishness. Selfless, honest efforts of a teacher will bear sufficient fruits in the tree of the teaching profession. Therefore, selfless, honest efforts will be personified by what you call enlightened self-interest of a teacher. That is the E. Then comes the R, is nothing but resourceful role model. He is a role model. Every student say that he is or she is my ideal teacher. The attributes or the qualities of my ideal teacher are worth emulating. So you get inspired, you get motivated to replicate those qualities in your life. And as a student, you would like to answer your critics only through your deeds. Who inspired you to become like that? Your teacher. See, a teacher is a lighthouse. True about it. Therefore, many of you talked about many wonderful qualities. Because shortage of time is there, I know. Amit Khatri said, self-confidence, very, very important. Believe in yourself, believe in yourself. That is what. Then Ananya talked about beyond academics, of course, because holistic development of the personality according to NEP 2020 today. Well-rounded development of the personality. It means well-rounded development of personality is nothing but physical, mental, intellectual, social, and spiritual well-being. Panchamam Karya Siddhi, 5-dimensional view. So beyond, look beyond the four walls, look beyond the curriculum, look beyond the academics. That is what Ananya said. Anrup Nayak said, love and deep understanding of the needs, wants, preferences, demands, and expectations of the learners will matter a lot. Therefore, that's what I say. If you want to teach mathematics to Mr. Peter, you must know not only mathematics, but also Mr. Peter. Chinmaya Naik said, real learning takes place outside the classroom. Darshini Gowda said, mom, yes, because she is the darkness remover, starting from home. That is what the first level of learning, because Darshini Gowda could see learning inspired by Trinity of God, Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara. Yes, all the three gods, they have got their individual and collective integrated role to enlighten all of us. Then Dominic Savio Philip said, great teacher inspires, and a student should unlearn, relearn, and get committed to the continuous process of learning and development. John Jojen said, you should be a role model, and a real teacher is fondly remembered. That is what I'd like to be remembered by the hearts and minds of my wonderful students, because they are the real hope for me. That is what Anvit Kumar, maybe physically disadvantaged. He said, teaching is the noblest profession and the character is very, very important. He remembered the former president of India, APJ Abdul Kalam. Therefore, teacher is a real student, he said, because a teacher should strongly believe in the process of knowledge sharing. I liked it very much. Torcham Lungamba Methi from Manipur said, teacher is a second parent. Darkness to light and teacher prepares for the life, not for just a job or a career. Is true. India can become Vishwaguru because of inspiration here. And Muskan Saxena, yes, egolessness of a teacher is very, very important, because a teacher is a benevolent character builder. I do agree. Nagesh said, more successful than himself. A teacher should create a student who becomes more successful than the teacher. Guru Minchudu Shishya. In Telugu we say, Guru Minchudu Shishya is very, very important. Therefore, a real student will always exceed the expectations of the teacher. Then Nancy Agarwal, sochne par majboor kare. A teacher should do that. That is what boond boond se sagar banta hai. Jeene ki kala sikhaya teacher. That is what we understand. Navya Sharma, yes, she said, brilliant public school. Yes, she said, make students happy. And teacher should be informative, educative, and should provide entertaining learning experience, both within this classroom and also the outside the classroom. And a teacher should focus on not just curricular, extracurricular, and also extracurricular activities. And a teacher will always learn from the students. I learned so many things from my own students during the 40 years. Therefore, the youngest student I liked very much, Miss Nirvana Seram from Manipur again. And she said, not from books alone, a teacher should teach, and a teacher should bring out the best from every student. Recognition for the job well done. So appreciation is very, very important. Teacher gives the right direction, and a teacher leaves indelible impressions in the impressionable minds of the young students. That is what Mega Aryu said, explains what the internet cannot, because everything is available. What, why, where, when, who, and why available in the Google. But what is not available, how part of your job may not be available, and certain values may not be available. How to lead a decent and meaningful life may not be available. Therefore, we should get out of the textbook and teach the students how to lead a decent life, because that is what, because necessary and not sufficient condition for life. The information or the data, information, knowledge contained in the textbook may be necessary, but not the sufficient condition to lead a graceful life in your future. So a real teacher, according to her, helps us learn. Therefore, discover our inner self is very, very important. Radha said, learning is a journey, not a destination. Ragini Sangha said, we need to know more about the Peter rather than the subject knowledge, because teacher is always a psychologist, and compassion for the less gifted ones is very, very important. And we remember the teacher, and we express our gratitude on this special occasion, and we should believe in ourselves. And Rakshit Bhatt said, yes, teachers and student interests must be well aligned. Teachers' interest and student interest need not necessarily be incongruent. They can be reconciled. They can be dovetailed. That should be the situation. Not how many trees you cut, but the sharpness of axe matters. Because you may not consume more than 15 minutes to cut the wood with the help of the seesaw. But remember, you must have invested at least 15 hours to sharpen the seesaw. That is what you have to become self-sufficient. That is what I say. When a student is ready, teacher appears. When a student is truly ready, teacher disappears. That is what Rakshit Bhatt opines, and Ram Roop Tiwari opined in a similar way. In the similar vein, he said. Then Shweta Shankar from the AJ Medical said, parents, tutors, I learned many things from many people, and they should constantly motivate us. They should create, build, nurture, and sustain that kind of interest in ourselves to learn more and more about the less and less of those things that matter in us. Therefore, constructive criticism is always welcome. And we should help, the teacher should help build the future of the students. That is what the real students look up to. And Teju R from Alwas said, yes, the teachers will always convert pressure into pleasurable experience, because the learning experience should not become a burdensome experience. It should be a playful learning experience. It should be as natural as breathing. Therefore, a teacher must create, build, nurture, and sustain that kind of academic learning experience, both inside the classroom and outside the four walls. That is what the teacher should always inject a sense of purpose, pride, and direction in the hearts and minds of the learners. That is what Teju opined, engage the students, because today the biggest problem experienced by all teachers, including me, is how to handle students' disengagement, cynicism, and skepticism in the classroom, because they will not be see the light at the end of the tunnel at the end of the day. What is missing? They are not able to see the wood for, they are missing the wood for the trees, because I cannot see the forest because of trees. That is what they are suffering from, conceptual and operational ambiguity, how to bring out that kind of scenario in students. Then finally, I really liked our last panelist, Miss Alfonsa Paul, who is very, very realistic in her approach and emotionally very resilient. And she greeted me because I knew her very well. And she is the girl endowed with lot of natural talents. And she said, teacher must be just like a lighthouse who gives the direction. And the real teacher inspires. A real teacher will not spoon feed everything. A real teacher will create constructive confusion in the hearts and minds of the students, so that a student really generates fire in the belly and the heart or the mind to know more and more about the less and less of those things that matter. Inspiration matters. If the students are the pillars, then the teachers are the main architect for fine-tuning the pillars. That's what she said. And students will always seek blessings, and teachers are there to give blessings, and teachers are the real transformers. That is what I get enlightenment after listening to the 22 student panelists. That is what my initial impressions about the whole process. I really congratulate Mr. Lal Goel ji for your wonderful efforts.
Thank you very much, Professor Dr. P. Subramania. I must say that today is a memorable day. The way you have summarized all the 22 students, what they have spoken, has enlightened again and given so enrichment. This is the real quality of a teacher. You all have spoken and we all heard, but the way he has summarized the whatsoever you have spoken, this is what an ideal teacher is. And I'm sure that today you have all been enlightened and got the blessings of such a learned Honorable Vice Chancellor of Mangalore University, Professor Dr. P. Subramania, for giving his time and his such a nice words for all of you. I'm sure all the viewers who are watching definitely get benefited with these types of views, which has been expressed by all the 22 participant students, as well as our honorable chief guest, Vice Chancellor, Mangalore University, Professor Dr. P. Subramania. Thank you very much, Professor Dr. P. Subramania, for giving such a nice blessings on this auspicious day. A life of joy and happiness is possible only on the basis of knowledge and science, said by our very own philosopher king, Dr. Sarpalli Radhakrishnan. Now, let me introduce our other guests. They are all the mentors of Gyan, and Gyan stands for Global Youth Activity Network. My first guest is Professor Dr. Sudhir Saran. Dr. Sudhir Saran is the former visiting professor of IIM, Lucknow, and University of Texas at Dallas, USA. Professor Dr. Sudhir Saran, please.
Thank you, Mr. Lal Goel. It is such an auspicious day in the life of a teacher. It cannot be described in words. You have gathered a brilliant collection of students. Professor P. Subramania, Vice Chancellor of Mangalore University, did build a beautiful bouquet of the thoughts they shared with us. Thank you, Professor Subramania. You tried and succeeded in filling the ocean within a pitcher. Only you can do this one. Nobody else can. We are envious of the things you can do. And envy is a motivator, takes us to higher heights. So Thank you very much, Professor Subrahmanya, once again for the brilliant bouquet building that you did. To a teacher, there is no greater joy than the sparkling talent of the student and a sparking talent within the student. If you want to really understand a teacher, I'll share a line from poetry which I love. उम्मीदों से बंधा एक परिंदा है शिक्षक. And just not that. उम्मीदों से बंधा एक जिद्दी परिंदा है शिक्षक, जो घायल भी उम्मीदों से है और जिंदा भी उम्मीदों से है. This line summarizes the life work of a teacher. We see the first spark in a student, and that drives us to a passion that we do everything within our power to nurture that spark and to bring the students to the best possible potential he or she has locked within soul. Every teacher who comes to teaching and stays shares this philosophy of mine and works to make this real. So on this special day, let me extend my heartfelt gratitude to all the teachers who made me who I am today. And the teacher can come like God in many forms. Let us remember it on this special day. He can come as a friend, he can come as an enemy, he can come as a rich guy, he can come as a poor guy, he can come from anywhere. So please be modest enough to accept a real teacher when he arrives in your life. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Now I would like to introduce the next guest. Although time is very, very short, so just I will introduce all the mentors. Professor Dr. P.P. Devan. He is the Professor, Head and Neck Surgery, AJ Medical College, Mangalore. Dr. Devan, just say a line because the time is very short now. Please unmute yourself. Please unmute.
It is indeed an honor to listen to fantastic, brilliant minds of the young students whom I've seen here on this forum. They are far ahead than what we were at when we were at their age. Oh, they are absolutely fantastic and they are an asset to India. If India is going to become great, it is because of them. And I must confess that if I sit here as a doctor, it is because of my one teacher, Professor P.C. Thomas. He, as a consequence of his training, I have 100 out of 100 in physics and maths. I joined Manipal paying 800 rupees. And if I can do that with average or below average intelligence, you can do it too. The only thing that you need to have is that one thing, I can. And believe me, you can. You are the captain of your ship. You are the master of your destiny. You write your own chapter of your life with a golden pen. Nobody can come in your way and nobody can sort of be in your path. You can rise to the very top, provided you have this one facet that takes you to the top. One word, humility. Thank you very much. God bless. Good luck.
Thank you, Dr. Devan. Dr. Santosh Kumar Patnaik. Dr. Patnaik is the former Managing Director, Indian Railway Finance Corporation. One line, please, Dr. Patnaik. We are running off the time. Please unmute yourself. Please unmute.
Well, thank you, Mr. Goel. You asked me one line. I'll limit myself to one line. But before that, let me salute Professor Subramaniam, who had wonderfully, metamorphosed the whole idea of an ideal teacher by listening to 22 nuggets of wisdom. Each one of you have spoken today in this platform. So let me only tell it in one particular sentence. For a great teacher, in my own feeling, that's Professor Abdul Kalam, the ex-president of India. If a country is to be corruption-free and become a nation of beautiful minds, I strongly feel there are three key societal members who can make a difference. They are the father, the mother, and the teacher. My great obeisance to all the three of them. Let the good sense prevail on the youth of this world, youth of this nation, to take this ideal to the greatest height of the order. Let Gyan prosper with all of you, since you have already become a part of this Gyan, and you'll see in the days to come, you will get connected to with many ideal teachers who will be coming on the way. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Dr. Kurian. Dr. Kurian is the principal of Alwas College, Murbidri.
Salute to my beloved YC, Professor Subramania sir, and all the best wishes to all my dear students who have joined this forum. I have enjoyed being a teacher for almost 25 years, only for one reason, that I can see smiles on my students' faces. So keep smiling. Let all the teachers feel that it is not a job, it is a responsibility. All the best to all of you.
Thank you, Dr. Kurian. Reverend Father Celine Joseph. Reverend Father Joseph is the director of Unique Edu Skills International, Bethangri. Please unmute. Please unmute.
Happy Teachers Day to everyone over here, all the students and Professor P. Subramania sir. I underline and accord my voice with Dr. Patnaik, Santosh Patnaik. You have really done a good job and a teacher's job, summarizing all these 22 students. And a big salute to you, sir. As I salute you, I remember all my teachers and pay my respect to you as well as to all of them. And definitely, as Lal sir is concerned with the time is the greatest gift a person can give. Giving time means giving a portion of life, as Paulo sir will say. So it's a portion of life we are giving. All the teachers are giving a portion of their major portion of their life to the students. So it's the greatest gift the teachers are giving. And let never, the saying is, rivers never go reverse. As Khalil Gibran says, rivers never go reverse. They have to go forward. So we will give our love to the students, but we are not expected to give our love, thoughts to the students. We can think of following them, but never try to make them as we are, because the world should move on forward, not to reverse. So definitely all the students over here, best wishes. May God bless you all. Definitely you are the dream of our nation. God bless you all. Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you, Father. Mr. N.V. Pauls, he is the chairman of Global TV and secretary of Gyan.
Hearing all the students and the Honorable VC, I am just sitting and sweating here, sir. That is the reality. My thanks to all the great teachers and the students who create great teachers. Together, the students and teachers can transform the world, and that is a happening world today. And I'm so thankful to be part of that happening world. And thank you, Gyan. Thank you, Lal Goel, sir. It is great thing happening. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Mr. Paul, and thank you all who has participated from the Gyan side. I being the chairman of Gyan, I extend my thanks to all the students, the Honorable Vice Chancellor, and this today's program, which has been live telecasted by V4NEWS, Global TV, Malnadu TV, News Gyan'S, Samvad Sarokar News, as well as was shown live on Facebook and YouTube. I once again wish you all a very happy Teachers' Day. Thank you very much.